I know. That's my style, man.
Really?
My style is buffon-hole. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Regan Radio.
Hi.
I'm Regan. This is Jenny.
Hi.
And, this is the place to come if you are sick of, learning languages in the normal ways and watching endless videos online, trying to improve, and you just want to do something relaxing. You just want to you want to learn, but you don't want to learn, So you can come here and we'll do the learning for you, if that's possible. I think that's possible. Today we were going to talk about some challenges that foreigners, or at least in my case, me, Kiwi people, New Zealand people, experience when they go to China. So I wrote a list of a couple of things that I think are difficult and worth mentioning for other people who travel into China for the first time, in their first year. Something to think about or something to prepare for. And I was going to get some of Jenny's thoughts on some of these things as well, or some translation from Jenny in Chinese, either one of those. And so she's going to be speaking Chinese, I'm going to do English, because that's what we normally do. We do bilingual, multilingual type of conversations. And we have fun when we're doing it, and we try to hopefully learn something in the process. So first of all, let me just ask Jenny how she's doing today. How's your day been today?
今天我过得非常的好，因为今天算是这学期第3学期的最后一节课。接下来我会有2周的假期。
I didn't actually know that. So you started holiday today, right?
Yeah.
Basically, 2-week holiday. Before we jump in, what are you going to do for your holiday? Do you have any plans?
首先我要写我的论文，这个是最紧迫的事情，然后要和我的同事和朋友们一起出去玩。对。
She's going to go party. Let's talk about some of these challenges in China and things that I had to deal with. Because these are I think they're going to be useful for some people, and they're just kind of interesting to talk about as well, because they're like cultural difference type of things. So let's do it. Number one, is I started off in Beijing. Beijing is a cold place in winter, like a lot of places in the north of China in particular. So if you're going to the north or even like the middle parts of China, you need good clothes. You need warm clothes. And before I went to China, my mom kept trying to give me this rongfu. And I kept saying, no, I don't want it. It's ugly. I don't want it. But in winter, I wore that jacket like every day. And so if you're from New Zealand, our winter in New Zealand is not winter. Right? I really suffered. I really struggled in winter. It kills in winter in China, especially in places like Beijing's not even that bad, but there's a lot of places that are just freezing cold.
对，是的，这个冬天很冷，是一个可能，尤其是对于 Kiwi 对于新西兰人来说，确实是一个不小的挑战，因为新西兰的冬天确实很温暖。如果说到了中国大部分城市，冬天确实非常冷，但是我们会有暖气，所以你只需要在外面就穿很厚的衣服就可以了。你在室内的话，你就不需要穿很厚的衣服。对，但是你知道，更大的挑战是什么吗？南方的冬天的话，他们冬天也是很冷，但是他们没有暖气，所以那种湿冷是比北方的冷是更难受的。
I think this is debatable. I think that topic is, I agree, but I disagree. So she's saying that winter in the south of China can be worse, more painful, because it's wet, but it's cold. Or maybe it's humid, but it's cold. Is this what you're saying? But in the north, it's more dry, a dry cold. Is that right? This is very advanced. I don't know how to just even think about this, but I feel like the north was frickin' freezing, like ice, like knives cutting you as you walk on a windy day. painful. It's like pure stinging, burning pain on the skin. Got to cover it up. But in the south, well, it was the same. I mean, it was freezing. It was horrible.
但是你想一下，在北方的冬天，室内有暖气，至少你可以室内是非常舒服的。但是如果是南方的话，室内你只能开空调，那么其实在室内你也要穿很厚的衣服。
Okay, let's just say that they're both very cold.
对。
And the point is, you got to buy thick jackets. You got to buy the down jackets. You got to buy what do you call these things? Long johns and thermals. And in Chinese, they have a really funny name. Do you know how to say the thermals in Chinese?
保暖内衣 maybe.
There's another name.
秋衣秋裤。
秋裤.
秋裤啊，秋裤，秋裤。
You have to buy 秋裤. Because and not just like New Zealand 秋裤, you need to buy they have different levels of 秋裤, like heavy, thick 秋裤, and then like the medium 秋裤, and then the light 秋裤. Basically, just buy as much winter clothing as you can. If you come from like Canada or some of the cold states in America, this is probably nothing. You'll be fine. This is more for the New Zealand and Australian people, or people from like Latin America, maybe some Europe, like maybe Portugal, maybe Spain, maybe Italy. I don't know how cold they get, but yeah. Or Africa. If you come from Africa, buy more clothes. Here's the second one. This is more simple, but can be also more depends on your personality. In Beijing, I always found myself in the mornings and the evenings spending a lot of time standing in a line, particularly in the subway.
对对对，这个是的。
I'm not good at waiting in line. I get very impatient. I have no patience, and waiting in line is really tough. And so the worst lines were, depending on where you live in Beijing or in any city in China, you might have to be waiting in some serious lines for the subway. Take some music, take like a TV show, have something ready to watch on your phone maybe, because it can be boring. And then you're going to get maybe pushed into the subway, like what? Like what do you say in China? Do you have some kind of like everyone's crushed in the subway like a what? Maybe you can tell us something about this.
这个确实在中国也是经常被吐槽的一点，吐槽就是 complain 的一点，交通拥堵。早高峰、晚高峰 the rush hour, in the morning and after work. 所以这一点确实真的很 annoying, 对吧？我觉得这个主要也是因为中国人太多，所以交通拥堵是一个方面，还有就是你比如说，不管你是坐地铁还是开车，都会遇到这样的问题。
Yeah, that's a good point. So if you have a car, you're also going to be waiting in traffic a lot. So it's just traffic in general, but it's just the waiting in line. And a lot of the time you can't get a seat in the subway if during the peak hours in the morning, peak hours in the evening. Get ready to ride the subway, to live the subway life.
对，确实啊，这一点是你在中国必须要经历的，就是你坐公共交通、地铁、公共汽车，很多时候你没有座位。在新西兰，我从来没有碰见说一个公交车很多人的情况，真的。
Number 3 is also related to the subway. It's something difficult that I had to learn. You have to learn this quickly. And you have to learn you learn the Chinese for this thing quickly as well, because if you don't learn the Chinese, you can miss your stop very easily.
对对对。
So what's happening is that there's so many people in the subway in the peak times that sometimes you can't get out of the subway in time. Right? The doors only open for like 20 seconds or something when it's really busy. So you have to be right next to the door when you stop at your stop. That means, but when you get pushed into the subway, sometimes you get pushed right into the back. So as you're getting closer to your stop, you have to slowly shuffle a little bit closer, a little bit closer, a little bit closer, and there's waves of people coming in and out, and like it's a weird thing, but like you have to practice, and you need to know how to say 我下车了，我下车，你下车吗？我下车了，过一下。过一下，过一下，过一下。
借过。对，这个我觉得是的。你必须，你在中国坐地铁的话，首先就是你必须要知道你在哪一站下车，对吧？但是这个我觉得比较好解决，因为你英文和中文的话，它是直接一样的，对吧？而且会有一些指示牌，比如说到了哪一站。红色的灯就会亮，明白吗？然后但是确实人多的情况下，你是因为地铁门它可能就只有几秒，对，开然后就会关上，所以如果人多的话，你要提前先去门口等着。如果人太多的话，这个时候你就要说 "Excuse me"， 借过一下，借过一下，借过一下。
Yeah, so this is my advice, get as close as you can to the door slowly. Don't try to go there too fast, otherwise you get pushed back deep into the recesses of the tram, you won't be able to get out. I saw a lot of people didn't make it out, it happens all the time. Like people they're trying to put their swimming through people and they don't make it and the door closes. And then, you feel embarrassed a little bit. Yeah.
真的，我从来没有这样，我从来没有这样过，因为我觉得你可以提前去等。
This is the Beijing subway, man. It's like you're crushed in there, and there's just you can't move. And it's tricky for some people, like people that are shorter, and they can't even see like the which stop they're at. But you have to listen. It's so loud. It's just chaos. That's all I'll say. Just you'll find your strategy, your approach. But I think those words saying 下车, 我要下车, I want to get off, I'm getting off is really important. And asking other people like 你下车吗? 我要下车, and they'll move for you. And so you have to talk to everyone around you so you can slowly get your way there. Okay, so number 4 is number 4 was probably the most difficult thing for my health to deal with. And because when I first went to China, my Chinese is terrible. It's shit. And I can't read. So reading is very important when you want to eat food. So you go to restaurants, a lot of places don't have picture menus. A lot of places even have picture menus, but I don't know, it's not enough sometimes. The pictures are deceptive and you can't really tell what it is. And so food and choosing what to eat, where to go was very hard. Because once you find one good place, that's good for like a couple of weeks. But you can get sick of eating the same food. I ate a lot of the same food. Every morning I was going to McDonald's for the first 6 months because I just didn't know where to get, the breakfast food that I wanted. A lot of Chinese people go into little stands, as they go to work, they're sort of eating breakfast on their way to work, literally buying it at little shops and things on the way to the subway. And when they get off the subway, there's all these shops. And I started doing that later in the year, trying those things. The food's not that healthy, but a lot of McDonald's was eaten in my first 2 years of being in China. And I'm sure a lot of foreigners can relate to this.
我觉得确实吃饭这个问题，就餐这个问题，可能对于很多外国朋友来说是一个不小的挑战。主要原因也是因为中餐和国外的食物有很大的区别，对。但是我觉得这一点很好。不是很困难，就是因为首先中国吃的非常多，无论是早餐、中餐、晚餐，都是有很多的选择。然后还有就是，虽然你不知道一些中文，你可以，但是你去中国的时候，你会说一些中文吗？ 一点点。你能听懂一些中文吗？
Not very good.
所以就怎么说呢？你只能去问了。你可以问，指着去问啊，是什么啊？是米饭还是面？牛肉还是鸡肉？这些最简单的可以帮助你吃饭。对。然后还有就是，要么就只能使用翻译工具了。对，不过我觉得现在有中国的越来越多的人，他们其实会讲一点英文的，对，所以我觉得基本的沟通交流，甚至你可以用一些手势。
Yeah, you could also just use your phone, translate things on your phone.
对
I know a lot of people like to do. I tried to go raw, I tried to just be phoneless and do everything, but that's like not actually that's kind of painful to do.
我想到一点，其实我觉得吃饭这个问题对我在新西兰来说也是一个很大的挑战，因为很多时候，比如说我去餐厅，我觉得我也看不懂菜单，就是虽然说我知道一些英文，但是我觉得我还是不能够，就是也是看不懂，就不知道自己该吃什么。这个时候就会问啊，你们有没有什么推荐？还有就是从网上去找一些评价比较高的，对，直接从 Google 去搜一些高分的餐厅，然后看他们的特色是什么，推荐比较多的。
I don't recommend doing what I did and just trying to learn Chinese without using your phone at all, and not even not being so interested in reading and writing. The food aspect is going to kill you if you don't want to use your phone, if you don't use translation dictionaries, if you don't use the food apps and to get food delivered. Like, embrace your phone in China, because Chinese people do. They embrace their phone. So the way things work in China now, like, you can do almost anything on your phone. So ordering food is going to be a key, and understanding like menus and things, or just having friends, Chinese friends that can take you out and help solve that problem for you. And so you can transition more easily into the China food lifestyle, which is, even today, like if I'm in China, like last year, let's say, when I was in China, it's still difficult.
还有我想到一点，就是我觉得还有一个很好的方法就是排队，因为你知道，如果一家店排队的人很多，那就说明它很可能是好吃的。所以如果你不知道选择哪家餐厅的话，可以直接看店里的人多不多就行了。
Yeah, so I'll just add what she's saying. Look for the large groups of people at the restaurant, and then you know if it's a popular restaurant. The other good thing about that is you can go in and you can look at what everyone's eating, and if you see something you like, you can grab the waiter or the waitress and be like, hey, I want that. 想要这个，想要那个，这个. Yeah.
很聪明。
That's what I do. That's what I do. I walk into a new restaurant. I say hi to the workers, big smiley happy face, because I don't want to, this is could be difficult, could take time. We want to make sure that everybody's happy. Then I look at what everyone's eating, and if nothing looks good, I probably just leave. But if I see some things that look good, that look like I could probably eat them, which is, most places, then I start having a chat with the owner or the waiter, waitress, and I ask them, what's the special? 有什么可以推荐的吗？你是点的最多的菜是什么菜？ That's I roll with this expression, like, what is your most popular? What is your best food? Right? This is the first question. It never works, though. By the way, they say I often get everything is delicious. Everything is the best. This is the answer I get. So it's not very helpful to ask this question. Actually, you know what? Yeah, forget about that question. That never really works. Grab the menu and start studying. Yeah.
对，最好的方法呢就是学中文啦。
Here we go. Here's number 5. I had a lot of problems with money in the first 2 years in China. And the reason is because here in New Zealand, we get paid once a week or once every 2 weeks. In China, I mean, there's a lot of countries that do this. They pay monthly. And getting paid monthly is fine. It's cool. But when you have to rent an apartment, sometimes you have to pay like 2-3 months in advance. That's where it kills you. You got to have money saved, you got to be ready for that. And sometimes when you start a new job, you don't get paid after a month. Sometimes you have to work 2 months before you actually get any money. So you really had to think about that carefully, how you approach money, and then the spending of your money. Like I would, after about 2 or 3 weeks, I'd never have any money. I'd run out of all my money, and then I'd suffer for like a week or 2 weeks before I get paid because I'm just not used to, living that, waiting a whole month before you get paid. Plus, I wasn't getting much money in my first year in China. So maybe if you're in a big city, make sure you're getting paid enough. If you make more than like, say you're in Beijing, like you're in a big city and you make more than like 20,000, that's more than enough. If you make more than 20,000 renminbi a month in a big city, you're in a medium-sized city, and you need at least sort of like 15,000 would be more than enough. This is a foreign lifestyle. Like, for me, based on my experience and my understanding, these numbers probably don't mean anything to you, but I don't know if you have thought about this, like what it would be like getting paid, if this affects you or not.
因为中国的话，我觉得虽然他们租房都是以月为单位的，但是他们收工资一般也是以月为单位的，所以这个只是说和新西兰单位不一样。不过新西兰的工资都是1周1结，2周1结吗？OK， 这个我现在才知道，我只知道租房是一般1周1付这种。我觉得是因为在中国的话，你可能有那种长租，比如说1年2年，还有短租的话，我们就是1个月1季就是3个月，对，所以一般来说我们租房的话，而且是要求要有押金，你知道吗？对，所以就相当于比如说你要多付1个月的钱，这样的话才能使房东他不会有太大的损失，那同时对你来说也是一个保障，因为如果房东有问题的话，他也可能会赔偿你的损失，对，这个是有好有坏吧，对，但是确实就是在你去中国工作的话，你肯定是要多预留一部分租房的钱的，因为你要付押金，而且你要考虑到你的工资可能要等到你工作1个月之后才能拿到。但是我觉得现在也是有一些工作它是日结或者是周结这种的。
The last one is something I was just talking on the phone with one of my colleagues in China, and she was telling me something interesting. She had to explain to other foreign teachers, because this is at a university, there's other teachers that she had to explain to them that when there's a holiday in China, you often have to make up and work overtime to make up for those days, for that holiday. And so in my logic, my understanding of that is that in the beginning I couldn't accept that. I thought holiday is a holiday, and you don't work overtime because you had a holiday. But in China you work overtime to make up for the time that you're not there during the holiday. And I know this sounds probably weird for a lot of people. She had to try to convince some of the other foreign teachers about that. It took me like 2 years to understand that. I had to talk to a lot of people, a lot of arguments with my bosses about this, but that's how they do it. What do you think? Here in New Zealand, she's telling me this on the phone, by the way, because we have a National Day holiday in China coming up, and we don't actually have to make up for it. And some universities now are not making their teachers have to work overtime. So it's a really positive change, I think.
我觉得从你刚才说的这一点可能是最难以理解的、最困难的事情了，就是不仅是外国人，甚至是中国人自己都一直在吐槽，一直在抱怨，就是关于调休这个问题，对吧？放假就是放假，然后尤其是放假的 holiday 和周末在一起，对吧？和周末在一起，那这个时候总是，我们的周末还有我们的假期其实重合了，其实就相当于我们没有这个假期，明白吗？对，还有就是有时候你假期比较多，我们总是会调休这个周日上班下个周六上班，这种就是让这个假期很长。其实怎么说呢？我也不太理解这种做法的意义是什么。有时候你会感觉，中秋3天假，其实加上周末，你只放了1天。国庆7天假，加上调休，你本质只放了3天，这确实很奇怪。所以这个也是现在大家都很吐槽、很抱怨的一点，我们都希望取消这个调休。
Okay, that's all I'm going to mention today because, this is we're going to be talking forever. And those are 5 difficulties or challenges that I faced in my first year, in particular in China. And thanks for coming to chat today, Jenny. And I hope you all sort of learned something new, even if it's not what I talked about, but some words, maybe Chinese or English words, that would be cool. See you in the next one, people. Bye-bye.